such fun, making the scenic run, cruising your ship around, cruising from Fairbanks town, seeing Alaska today.
This is no doubt one of the best-known tourist attractions found in Alaska. The stern-wheel riverboat Discovery. Patterned after its forebears, which plied territorial waters a generation ago, she's a remarkable craft. On her decks, thousands from outside and elsewhere here in Alaska receive an absorbing and entertaining lesson in history.
It's fed by over 100 glaciers.
But it's not so much that floating classroom with which I'd like to acquaint you, but rather the faculty. Captain Jim Binkley's silver-thatched smile has lit the airways of late in behalf of a certain communications company. Certainly, Jim alone would be a prime subject to profile. But add to the captain and craft his remarkable family crew, and you've got an outstanding Alaskan success story.
My father came up from Indiana, where he was trained as a riverboat pilot as a boy, heard about the Alaska gold rush and headed north. Walked over the White Pass, carried his gear to the top, built a little boat at Lake Bennett, got started, and that was in 1898. And we've been at it ever since, consecutively for 89 years.
40 years ago, Jim Binkley and his wife Mary were fellow University of Alaska students in Fairbanks. Someone heard Jim had a riverboat pilot's license and suggested they start a little excursion business on the Chena River. It sounded promising.
We started in 1950 with a small 25-passenger gasoline-powered launch that belonged to the Episcopal bishop. And we could see, as it began to develop, that there was a potential for a greater business. So we built the little Discovery #1 right from scratch, right from the bottom up. We built it right in our backyard.
Discovery 1 held but a few dozen passengers. And after a few years, demand exceeded capacity. So Jim got out the welding torch to fashion Discovery 2. Word continued to spread about this one-of-a-kind visitor's experience. And in the early 1980s, the Binkleys took a giant step.
We made this decision in 1984 to build Discovery #3. And we've completed that boat in 9 months in a shipyard down in Puget Sound. We took it on a barge all the way up the Alaskan coast to the Bering Sea, off the barge, and the oldest and youngest sons brought it up here in 6 days to Fairbanks. Carries 1,000 passengers, take 800 undercover on a rainy day. It's quiet, it's comfortable. It has everything that a passenger wants, unlimited visibility. The speaker system is good. We have a video system on board now that supplements the things that we say with video cassettes that we can play, and it's just a terrific vessel.
She's a real beauty, all right. But perhaps even more beautiful is the sight of the entire Binkley family pulling together to keep the Discovery fleet afloat.
Mary and I have a daughter and 3 sons, and our daughter does the marketing and sales for us. Mary does most of the scheduling. The boys are all licensed captains and licensed pilots, and they run the boat. The oldest son takes care of the mechanical functions. Son Jim takes care of all of the cosmetics and the crew. John does all the public relations and some of the advertising and helps steer the boat occasionally. And I just do a lot of, well, I'm kind of the glue that holds it all together. Later on today, here's a beautiful log house on the right-hand side. You can see the... And our daughters-in-law, 3 of our daughters-in-law work in the business too. As much time as they can spend away from their children to work with us. So it's a pretty satisfying thing to have a gang that works so well together. And it's an interesting thing too in our family enterprise that the ownership of the enterprise is not equal, of course, but when we make a decision as a family, we make it on equal voting. It's a very democratic process. Unless everybody agrees, we don't do it. But when everybody agrees, we really do it.
All the Binkleys agreed on the building of Discovery 3, and I think you'll all agree she's an impressive sight. Daughter Marilee even pressed her into service as her wedding chapel.
2 years ago when my parents told me about Discovery 3 and it was in the planning, I told them, I said, I'm going to get married on that new boat. And not too long after that, I met my husband, and so last summer he asked me to marry him. I said, we have to wait for Discovery 3 to arrive. It's my dream, and it really was. It was a beautiful wedding.
As parents,
And employers, you have to overlook a lot as they're in their teen years and be patient with them. But as they get into their 20s, they settle down and really are much more responsible individuals by that time.
What we did get a lot of that maybe shaped everybody's character a bit was the opportunity to make our own decisions, make our own mistakes, but be responsible for whatever we did. We were given responsibilities young, and it seems like it's helped a lot in developing self-confidence and learning to work together with the other members of the family, making decisions.
As soon as they reached the age where their attention span was reasonably long, I started them in the wheelhouse, and they would stand on a box and look out the window, and I patiently explained to them some of the things that they had to know to be a riverboat pilot.
There you go, that's good, right about there. Hold on right there. See how we're swinging?
Young Ryan, my 8-year-old grandson, was doing what his dad did when he was that age, actually standing on a gasoline case box in the wheelhouse to see out the window so he could understand exactly what's going on. So that's the beginning of another generation coming on, and I look forward to all of our grandkids being involved in this.
And you do that because there's more current, you can go faster.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it kind of plays out against the sweepers that come.
He showed me like how to turn away from the big logs in the water and how to get really close to the bank. People call it working the willers. And he told me why you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to, it gets a little speed up.
Besides, you watch out your wheelhouse door.
Which part of the operation do you like best?
Well, I want to be a deckhand.
You want to be a deckhand? I see. You don't want to be a skipper? How come?
I just like working the snack bar.
Oh, you like the deckhand and the snack bar. I see.
Ryan was putting up chains and helping the deckhands out on the boat today. So it's a natural thing. You kind of fall into the thing that you like, and that's the thing that you do and enjoy, and that's your area of responsibility. And I think it's terrific the way it works.
It looks like there's room for you to absorb the future generations as well into the operation if you so choose.
I don't think there's any question about that. If they want to do it, that's the important part, if they want to do it. We all kind of feel that the greatest priority around here is enjoying life. That's the greatest priority of all, and each other.
Glaciers melt. You see just the clouds of it over here on the left? Just coming into view over here. Big clouds of it.
You have to like people. And it is a people type of work, and if you enjoy the people, every trip is different. And so we don't memorize and say exactly the same thing. We try to keep our commentary fresh by talking about what that particular group of people are interested in.
I say this to myself every morning. These people who are going to be on our boat today are on vacation in Alaska. And they paid a lot of money to come up here and enjoy the things that we have to offer. And they are seeing what we have to present for the first time. So I'm going to see it the same way. I'm going to see it through their eyes. And by doing that, I'm getting the feeling and the energy and the feedback from them and this first experience that they're having. And as a result, it's as if I were doing it for the first time. And I'm sure Mary feels the same way.
It's a fun job. It really gives you a good feeling at the end of the day to know that people have enjoyed and appreciated the area and what you've been telling them.
I think it's something that we all feel a part of, and we feel proud of it. You know, that it's something that we are sharing our culture and our heritage with visitors.
Where I come from, we call this a daluya. What you do is you start out with a round frame.
Share with the people who come on our boat an experience that we've had through the years with this marvelous Athabascan Indian culture. And we are saddened to see it disappearing as it is. And there are some people who are making an effort to keep it alive, and that's part of the thing we're doing here.
With all the forelegging here, they would make nice warm mucklucks for the man.
You know, the monetary reward is necessary to keep the operation going, but it's the reaction of the people and their response to what we're doing and their appreciation for how we're doing it that has to be a great part of the reward in doing this sort of thing.
It's nice to see a family arrangement. That's what I am. My boys and everybody are in my business, too.
What makes this work as a family venture? I think it's communication, and we communicate freely on what we're doing. Everybody appreciates what the other person is doing.
They can run the family business, obviously a successful family business, and they can still get together for Christmas and Thanksgiving and birthday dinners and still have a lot to talk about, enjoy each other, and I think it's because of the parents. You know, they've got a unique quality that allows that to happen.
When Skip and I had been married for 6 months or so, a close girlfriend of mine asked me sort of surreptitiously, just said, "Karen, tell me, now that you're a part of that family, are they really as nice as they seem?" Like she was going to get some inside scoop. And, you know, I was astounded at that point and still continue to be. They are continually nice, always supportive, always communicative, and they are as nice as they seem to be, and even nicer.
A strong sense of family was real important to both of them, and that was something that was instilled in us. And I think that was real important and something that I hope I'm able to pass on to my children, that sense of belonging to a family.
Jackie, Daddy! Whoa!
You know, I was just thinking as everybody was talking here that the basic elements that people have to have, we talk about. We have to have food and clothing and shelter. One other element that's so important, love. And I think we find a lot of that in this family.
You ready, Pumpkin? Ready to go?
It's obvious that Captain Jim Binkley, his first mate, and his 3-generational crew have a firm anchor cast to the windward. That anchor is love. Love for what they're doing, love for those they're doing it with, a love for the place they're doing it in.
Direction in my life and my family's life has been very satisfying, very pleased with it. I don't think I'd have done anything different. Here, the opportunity is everywhere. And of course, the thing is that people want to see you succeed in this state. They want to help you succeed. And that's the beautiful part of living here. People working together, doing things together. This state has everything going for it.